Have you ever stopped to think that something silent, almost invisible, may be putting your father, grandfather, or even your own life at risk while you sleep? It seems exaggeration, but it is not. A seemingly healthy elderly man went to sleep and never woke up. The reason? A common condition among men over 50 but still being ignored for thousands every day: prostate problems. And the scariest? This may be happening to someone you love right now, and you have no idea. If you are a man and it's over 40, or have someone beloved in this age range, this video is more than important. It's urgent. Prostate health is not a theme to be left for later. The body gives signs. He warns. But most choose to ignore, whether by shame, fear, or pure ignorance. Meanwhile, the prostate may be growing silently, obstructing urinary tract, affecting kidney, and in extreme cases, leading to sleep, without any chance of reaction. Did you know that a simple symptom like waking up several times at night to urinate can be the first warning that something much more serious is happening inside your body? Or that pain in the back, that discomfort leads to urinate, that feeling of constant tiredness can be the first steps of a silent bankruptcy? Benign prostatic hyperplasia, HPB, prostate cancer, urinary retention, renal failure, are names that sound distant until they knock on their door. Or worse, at the door of someone you love. Many men believe that taking care of the prostate is just doing the famous touch exam, and so they postpone, avoid, or mock their own health. But the problem is much greater. We are talking about daily habits that, over the years, accumulate damage: an inflammatory diet, physical inactivity, excessive alcohol and coffee consumption, lack of regular tests. All of this becomes a time bomb. And when she explodes, sometimes there is no time to run to the hospital. This is what happened to that elderly. And the question you need to ask yourself now is, who will be next? Perhaps your father is ignoring the symptoms. Maybe your grandfather has never done a prostate exam. Perhaps you are living with signs that you think are normal of age, but they are not. And that is precisely what makes this threat so dangerous. It disguises it as routine, tiredness, common aging. This video is a real alert, because what happened to that gentleman was not unlucky, it was no coincidence, and it was definitely not inevitable. Could have been avoided, with information, with change of habit, with prevention. And that's exactly what you will learn now. In the next few minutes, I will reveal you what exactly caused this silent death, what signs many men ignore, and the step-by-step to protect yourself and protect who you love. If you love your father, your grandfather, your husband, your brother, or if you want to take care of your own health, don't leave this video. What is about to be revealed may be the watershed between a long and healthy life and an early death that could have been avoided. So pay attention, because the next information you will hear can literally save a life. Before we continue, I want to ask you something very important. Comments down if you or someone in your family has already had a problem related to the prostate. It can be simple, such as urinating more often at night, or a more serious experience. When you comment, besides sharing your story, you help other people who are going through similar situations and don't even know where to start. This is how we create a support network, and health is also about it. Knowledge, exchange, and prevention. If this content has already impacted you in any way, leave your like here in the video. This shows YouTube that this theme is relevant, and helps this video get to more men who may be about to face the same danger, but they don't even know it yet. And of course, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, you subscribe now and activate the bell. Because here the focus is one: protect your male health with clear, objective, and science-based information. Each video I post here may be the difference between ignoring symptoms and starting to act. And sometimes acting at the right time saves a life. Do not underestimate the strength of a simple click on subscribe. It may seem small, but it's a giant step for those who are committed to living more and better, and helping others do the same. Now let's continue, because what you will find out can completely change your way of seeing your health, and you can make you realize that the biggest mistake is precisely to wait for the body to scream when he had been whispering a long time ago. What happened to that old man was not an isolated case, nor an inexplicable fatality. It was, in Vierde, the tragic outcome of a slow, silent, and invisible process in the eyes of those who are not aware. He went to sleep as he did every night, without pain, without fever, with no sign that something serious was about to happen. But within your body, the increased prostate, already causing urinary retention, had been pressing the urinary system for a long time, compromising the functioning of the kidneys, and generating an accumulation of toxins that their body could no longer eliminate. The technical name of this? Silent renal failure. And yes, this condition can evolve without man feeling absolutely nothing until it is too late. The truth is that many men live for years with ignored symptoms, thinking it is normal age. They feel they need to urinate more often at night. They realize that the urinary jet is weaker. They take time to start urinating, or that they need to push. Sometimes they even face involuntary urine escapes. But instead of seeking medical help, they minimize. They say it's because they drank a lot of water, because it's cold, or just don't comment on anyone. Silence adds to shame and, together with silent disease, advances every day, consuming the body inside without fuss. And then, when malaise begins to give lighter signals, such as extreme tiredness, swelling in the legs, body itching, altered pressure, or constant nausea, the problem is no longer located only in the prostate. It has already spread, affecting other organs, especially the kidneys. Chronic urinary retention, which seems simple at first glance, becomes a dangerous condition that overloads the kidneys, affects the balance of electrolytes in the blood, and can even cause a cardiac arrest during sleep. Yes, it happens. Yes, it is more common than you think. And yes, it could be avoided with early diagnosis and simple lifestyle changes. But why do so many men let this happen? Because there is a culture of negligence in relation to male health. Many believe that looking for a urologist is synonymous with weakness, or are afraid of rectal, fast, painless, and saved. Others think it doesn't hurt, so it's okay. But when it comes to prostate health, waiting for pain is the same as signing a contract with the risk. Benign prostatic hyperplasia, prostate cancer, and prostatitis are problems that can evolve quietly. The body warns, but whispering, and those who do not hear the whisper runs the risk of being surprised by the scream. The case of the elderly who died sleeping could have been avoided if he had done regular exams. A simple PSA, specific prostatic antigen, an ultrasound, or even a frank conversation with the doctor could have revealed that his prostate was already larger than he should, compressing the urethra, making it difficult to empty the bladder and, as a result, impairing kidney filtering. These effects accumulate over time. This is what we call the cumulative effect. It is not a problem that arises overnight. He gradually graduates in silence, and when he reaches the critical point, the body is often collapsed. Can you imagine how many men are living in exactly this situation without knowing? How many parents, uncles, grandparents, husbands are at risk and believing that everything is fine, simply because they have not yet felt pain? How many go to sleep today without knowing if they will wake up tomorrow? Why do they have an installed problem in your body that no one is talking about? That's why this video is so important, because he is not about the fear of death, but about the power of prevention. Preventing is the bravest way to live, and understanding the risks that involve prostate health is the first step for this courage. And you see, this is not just about those over 60 or 70 years. Prostatic problems begin to manifest often from 40, especially when man leads a sedentary life, consumes ultra-processed foods, does not drink enough water, and does not maintain a healthy sex routine. Lack of ejaculatory activity, for example, has already been proven to be associated with increasing the risk of prostatic problems. The body needs movement, circulation, internal cleaning. Lifestyle directly impacts prostatic function, and what is more worrying is that few men have this awareness. Many think they should only worry when they feel pain, but at this point, most are already facing complications. This is why we insist so much on the importance of information, because what you don't know can kill you. And more than that, it can take years of healthy life with you with those you love. You can take your disposal, your energy, your self-esteem, your sexual power, your pleasure to live may make you dependent on medicines, invasive surgeries, probes, and hospitalizations that could have been avoided with simple actions, such as an annual checkup, a more natural diet, more physical activity, and less alcohol. Now to think about me. What if you find out today that someone in your family is going through it and hasn't noticed yet? That your father's tiredness, your grandfather's back pain, that urgency to go to your husband's bathroom, not just age, but real signs that something within him needs attention now. That's what we're talking about. It's not just about prostate, it's about life. This kind of silent death, while the person sleeps, seems scary, and it really is. But even more frightening is knowing that with minor attitudes it could be avoided. You don't have to be a doctor to understand the signs, you just need to be aware. The body speaks. and we need to learn to listen. The man who died sleeping did not have this chance, but you still have, and that's why it's here. Because somehow you feel you need to better understand this subject. You need to act in time. You need to protect yourself and those you love. This shows that you are already on the right track. So I want to make a sincere request now. If you have had any of these symptoms I mentioned, such as difficulty to urinate, waking up overnight, full bladder, lower back pain, or knowing someone who is going through it, comments down here. Share your experience, tell your story, even with a simple phrase such as, "I identified with it," or, "My father feels these symptoms." You have no idea how much this can help other people who are reading the comments and feeling lost. Also comment if you have already done prostate exams or have questions about it. Write, for example, "I did my PSA this year," or "I need to mark my checkup." Each comment is a way of spreading this warning. Now you understand what can happen when we ignore the health of the prostate. We need to talk about the signs. And this is where the actual danger lives, because most of these symptoms are not going with fuss. They do not cause acute pain, do not make you run to the emergency room. They come softly, disguised as routine, camouflaged by aging, and it is precisely this standardization of symptoms that puts so many men at risk. The body begins to give small alerts, and if you are not aware, you can easily think that it is just another passing discomfort, when in fact, it is the beginning of a series of serious complications that surround the prostate, the urinary system, and even the kidneys. Let's start with the most common and most neglected symptom, waking up several times at night to urinate. It may seem banal, but this behavior, called nocturia, is one of the first signs that the prostate is increasing and pressing the urethra. This makes it difficult to complete the bladder and make the body send constant signs that it is necessary to urinate. What many people do not know is that waking up often to go to the bathroom at night profoundly affects the quality of sleep, hormonal functioning, and even the willingness throughout the day. It's not just in discomfort, it's a warning symptom. The prostate is trying to draw your attention. Another sign that deserves your attention is the weak or interrupted urinary flow. You feel it takes time to start urinating, that you need to push, and that the jet comes out weak as if blocked. In many cases, this is because the prostate has grown and is compressing the urethra. This type of partial obstruction not only impairs urination, but also favors the accumulation of urine in the bladder, which in the long run can lead to urinary tract infection and renal overload. Men who report this symptom often also notice a drip after urinating, the feeling that it has more but nothing comes out. This is not normal, and it is definitely not something to pass. Now perhaps what scares the most, or confuse, is the feeling of bladder even after urinating. It's like you've just left the bathroom, but minutes later you feel like coming back. This symptom, which many think is psychological, has a clear physical explanation. The bladder is retaining urine because the exit is partially blocked. This creates a constant internal pressure, which not only generates discomfort but can also cause pain in the lower abdomen and increases the risk of calculation and infections formation. If you have this feeling of never completely emptying, pay close attention. This is a direct sign that something is wrong with your urinary function and prostatic health. Another symptom that is rarely associated with the prostate, but that should light a warning, is pain in the lower back or pelvic region. Most men attribute this to posture, age, mattress, but often this pain originates in inflammatory or compressive processes caused by the increased prostate. When the prostate is inflamed or very swollen, it can pressing nearby nerves, radiating pain to the lower back and even legs. In addition, if the kidneys are already being affected by urinary obstruction, back pain may be reflected. Worse, the person continues to treat pain with analgesic, physiotherapy, or anti-inflammatory, when the real problem is in the urinary and prostatic system. And if you feel inexplicable tiredness, weakness, or even swelling in the legs or feet, know that this can be an indirect sign that your kidneys are being overwhelmed. When the prostate blocks the urinary flow and the kidneys retain fluids and toxins, the body begins to give systemic signals. This tiredness you feel may be because your body is fighting an imbalance that began silently. It's not lazy, it's not just stress, and it's definitely not normal age. It's your body saying you need help. And the sooner you hear, the more likely you are to avoid harder damage and especially a preventable death like that we mentioned at first. The most alarming thing is that all these symptoms, when they appear together or even isolated, rarely lead men to look for a doctor. There is a huge resistance, a block that often comes from years of macho culture, of fear, Shame. Many men prefer to ignore, believing it will pass. Others get used to symptoms and incorporate them into the routine. And when they finally decide to investigate, the picture is already advanced. Therefore, the word here is vigilance. You need to be aware of the small signs, because they will give you the opportunity to act in time. They can prevent you or someone in your family from becoming statistics. And if you are watching this video here, it is because somehow this subject touches you. Perhaps you are going through this yourself, or maybe someone closely facing similar symptoms. And that's why we need to continue this conversation. Because talking about prostate health cannot be taboo, cannot be postponed, it cannot be ignored. The sooner you recognize these signs, the more likely you are to control the problem, to treat simply, to avoid aggressive medications, surgeries, or long hospitalizations, and especially to maintain its quality of life, its freedom, its strength, and its masculinity. In the end, prostate health is not just a physical matter, it is a matter of attitude. It's about choosing to take care of yourself. It is about responsibility with yourself and with those who love you. Because when you neglect your health, you do not suffer alone. Who is by your side also suffers. Your absence, your pain, your limitation impact the whole family. And all this can be avoided if you start listening to what your body is trying to say. So now it's your turn to participate. Tell me in the comments if you have already noticed any of these signs. You can comment with the phrase, "I feel it," or "I identified with this symptom," or even, "I'm going to mark a urologist this week." It may seem little, but commenting on this content to reach more men who are going through it. It also shows that you are committed to your health and the health of those you love. Did you know that sitting all day and avoiding tests may be shortening your life without you realize? It sounds like exaggeration, but this is one of the most ignored truths when it comes to prostate health. Most people think prostatic problems come up suddenly, that appear only with age, or that they are inevitable, but it's not quite. What is behind most serious cases that lead men to complications, such as prostate cancer, severe urinary retention, or even silent death during sleep, are not just genetic factors. They are, in fact, bad daily habits that accumulate over time. Small repeated choices every day which seem harmless but are undermining your health inside, quietly. And the first mistake, perhaps the most dangerous, is the lack of regular checkups. Many men avoid the doctor for fear, shame, or neglect. They stop doing simple, fast, and painless exams that could diagnose changes in the prostate at early stages, where treatment is much easier and less aggressive. PSA examination, rectal touch, prostate ultrasound. All this may sound uncomfortable or even scary for those who are not used to, but do you know what is really scary? Discovering an advanced tumor with metastasis, or realizing that your kidneys are failing because you have ignored the signs for too long. Not having tests is like driving a car without a panel. You can even keep walking, but you have no idea when you will hit. Another factor that deserves a lot of attention is the inflammatory diet, full of sugar, fat, ultra-processed, and alcoholic beverages. These foods, in addition to overloading the liver, affects and the hormonal balance, and increase the risk of inflammation in the prostate region. A constantly inflamed body is a fertile ground for the development of chronic diseases. Foods rich in preservatives, dyes, and chemical additives are present in the daily lives of many people. That built in breakfast, soda at lunch, snack in the afternoon, beer at the end of the work. It sounds normal, but when you add it for years, the impact on your prostatic health is huge. The prostate is an inflammation-sensitive, and maintaining an inflammatory diet is like throwing gas in an invisible fire. And then another villain comes in: physical inactivity. Modern life pushed men into the chair, office, car, sofa. Little movement, little circulation. Sitting for hours every day reduces blood flow to the pelvic region, favors toxins accumulation, and increases local temperature. 3 factors that can impair prostate function and even affect semen and erection quality. The male body was made to move. When you spend the whole day, it's not just the muscles that weakens, it is the internal functioning that begins to fail. And you don't have to become an athlete or spend hours at the gym. A simple daily walk of 30 minutes makes a difference. But the problem is that many men only think about it when pain arrives, when the problem is already installed. Another point that almost no one speaks but which is fundamental is the lack of regular ejaculation. That's right. Ejaculation is not just a matter of pleasure or sex. It also has physiological function. Several studies have shown that regular ejaculatory activity helps keep the prostate active, reduces the accumulation of prostatic fluids, and may even decrease the risk of prostate cancer. Men who spend long periods without ejaculating, either because of the absence of sexual activity or the repression of their own desire, are failing to give the prostate one of the natural stimuli it needs to stay healthy. And it is not about encouraging exaggerations or dependencies, but of recognizing the biological role of sexuality in maintaining male health. Adding all these factors, poor diet, lack of examinations, physical inactivity, absence of sexual stimulation, the result is an unbalanced, inflamed, and vulnerable organism. And this imbalance does not happen overnight. He graduates slowly, silently. Today is just a discomfort. Tomorrow, a trip to the most frequent bathroom. Then a little pain here, a tiredness there. Until when you realize your body is already asking for help. But the saddest thing is that many men do not listen to this request. Some because they really don't know. Others because they choose to ignore. And when they realize they are in a hospital stretcher, listening to a diagnosis that could have been avoided. And here comes that question that bothers you. Why no one warned me of it before? But the truth is that the information is there. What is missing is to stop, listen, and act, understanding that health is not luck, it is a choice. What longevity is not chance, it is habit. That the prostate is not a taboo, it is a vital organ that deserves attention, care, and respect. And you who are here now watching this video are already taking a step in front. It is seeking to understand what is behind the signs, the symptoms, the alerts that the body emits every day. You are choosing to find out instead of postponing. And that makes all the difference, because the worst thing that can happen to a man is not aging. It is aging sick, limited, dependent. It is losing control of their own health, their own urinary function, their own sex life. What's more, it is letting it all affect who is around you. The wife, the children, the grandchildren. Everyone suffers together when a man does not take care of his own health. And all this because of daily choices that could be different. A better food, a walk in the late afternoon, and scheduled exam, a frank conversation with the doctor, a video like this watched carefully. These are simple things, but accumulated in time, build a new reality. And you can start this change now. At the end of this video, I want you to reflect on your routine, about how you are feeding your body, how you are moving, how you are taking care of your sexual health, and especially if you are checking your checkups regularly. And I want to invite you to comment below sincerely which of these mistakes you have made. It can be a simple phrase like, I need to move more, or I will schedule my PSA later this week, or even, I didn't know the importance of prostate health ejaculation. In addition to helping video engagement, it serves to open a real conversation space in the comments, where other men will be able to see yourself in you and perhaps feel motivated to change too. And now you already understand what is behind so many cases of serious complications in health, from health prostate, cases that could have been avoided with simple, daily and conscious attitudes. Has come time to talk about how to reverse this scenario. Because yes, it is possible. It is possible to change this destination. It is possible to leave the risk zone. It is possible to do different. And it all starts with small actions that seem almost banal, but which, accumulated in time, represent the difference between living with autonomy and dignity, or depending on medicines, hospitals, and intensive care. We are not talking about miraculous solutions or expensive or inaccessible treatments. We are talking about habits, of choices, of attitudes. Let's start with the simplest, more affordable, and perhaps the most powerful, the movement. To walk. Simply walk. 30 minutes a day. Just that. 30 minutes walking every day are enough to activate blood circulation, improve tissue oxygenation, regulate hormones, reduce stress, and directly favor prostate health. Physical inactivity is one of the great villains of male health. When you spend hours sitting without moving your body, you are contributing to the accumulation of toxins in the pelvic region, increasing the local temperature and impairing the functioning of the prostate. Walking is a way to oxygenate the prostate, to stimulate the body to function as it should. What's more, it's free. It doesn't require gym. It doesn't require equipment. It only requires willingness and commitment to yourself. The second attitude you can start adopting today is to take care of your food more consciously. And here I am, not talking about a restrictive diet or becoming a salad fanatic. I'm talking about making smart choices that favor the functioning of your body, especially your prostate. Include more tomatoes in your daily life. Tomato is rich in lycopene, a substance with strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory action that helps protect prostate cells against degenerative processes. Also add nuts to your diet. The nuts are rich in good fats, which favor hormonal balance, and contain zinc, which is essential for prostatic health. And don't forget the green tea. This millennial drink has anti-inflammatory properties and helps to combat free radicals, which may be associated with the development of prostate cancer. As you add these foods, also start reducing or eliminating excess caffeine and alcohol consumption. A lot of people think you have coffee all day or socially drink every weekend has no problem, but it has, and there is a lot. Caffeine in large quantities irritates bladder, increases urinary frequency, and can make symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia worse. Alcohol, on the other hand, interferes with hormonal metabolism, impairs the liver, and contributes to chronic inflammation in the body. This does not mean that you need to completely stop having a coffee or a glass of wine, but it is important to understand the impact of these habits when they become constant and uncontrolled. Moderation is the key. And of course, one of the most important points of this entire journey is to keep the exams up to date. Do not expect to feel pain. Do not wait for the symptom to get worse. Don't expect anything. Go before. Take the PSA exam. Talk to your doctor about rectal touch. Make an ultrasound of the prostate. These tests can detect problems long before they cause symptoms. And the sooner you find out, the more likely the chances of simple treatment, without surgery, without heavy medicines, without suffering. Giving this accompaniment is like playing with your life. It is no exaggeration, it's real. And you don't have to go through it, you can prevent. All that I am telling you here is not theory. It is practical. It is real life. This is what makes the difference between a man who ages vitality, maintaining his power, his energy, his freedom, and a man who ends up hostage to his own body, depending on medicines, invasive procedures, and sometimes even losing autonomy. Taking care of the prostate is taking care of your life. To take care of the prostate is to take care of your energy. Taking care of the prostate is taking care of the people you love. It is to ensure that you can continue to be the pillar of your family, the present partner, the active grandfather, the whole man. A lot of people think it's hard to change, but the truth is that it is not the difficulty that prevents changes. It is the lack of priority. Prostate health needs to be a priority in the life of any man over 40. Most of the problems we face in this field develop slowly, accumulative, and can be reversed or controlled if there is awareness. You don't have to wait for things to get worse to start acting. No need to reach the limit. You have a chance to turn this game now, with attitude, with constancy, with information. And I know that you can often think, but now it's late for me, I'm already 50, 60. No, it's not late. And one is late to start taking care of your health. The body responds. The body adapts. The body regenerates. The important thing is to start. Start moving. Start eating better. Start testing. Start talking more about this subject. Because when you start, you show yourself that you are in control. That will no longer leave fear or ignorance to decide for you, who will not accept the common destination of so many other men who only sought help when there was no longer much to do. And if you have children, grandchildren, nephews, think about the example you are giving. Think of the opportunity you have to be a mirror, of being the man who broke the cycle of misinformation, broke the cycle of shame, who decided to take care to live longer, to live better, and to be present in the most important moments of life. So, before finishing this video, I want to make you some important invitations. First, comment down here if you or someone in your family has gone through a prostate-related problem. Share your story. You can write, "My dad had HPB. I made my first PSA this year. I felt some of these symptoms." What you write can be alert or motivated to another man who will read the comments and may be going through exactly the same situation. Also comment if you commit to changing any habit from today. It can be simple, like, "I'm going to walk every day," or "I will reduce alcohol." This helps too much in engagement and shows that this message is making sense. Second, share this video with someone who is over 50 years old. It may be your father, uncle, a friend, your husband. Send this video on WhatsApp, in the family group, in the group of friends. It may be the alert that will save a life. literally. If you stayed here with me, first I want to congratulate you. This already shows that you are different from most. It shows that you are really committed to your health or the health of someone you love. And now that you have come to the end of this video, I have some simple, but very important, requests to make you. First, subscribe to the channel right now. Here, you will continue to receive valuable content about prostate health, prevention of men's diseases, longevity, energy, vitality, and how to live with better quality even after 40, 50, 60 years. If you liked what you have seen so far, trust, the next videos will help you even more. Second, leave your like in this video. This shows YouTube that this theme is relevant and makes this content come to other men who may be living exactly this situation, but have not yet had access to this information. And of course, comment below. I arrived until the end. My health is a priority. This simple phrase shows that you are part of the group that really cares, that you are aware, and you want to live longer and better. I will keep an eye on the comments and want to see who are the warriors and journey partners who stayed with me until the end. And before you leave, click now on the next video that is appearing here on the screen. In it, I will show you what are the habits of everyday life that seem harmless, but that may be sabotaging your health silently. I see you there. Let's continue this conversation. You deserve this transformation.